Kabir, was just a small boy living in a quiet, dusty village nestled by a river. Life there was simple, and big dreams often felt like they belonged to another world entirely. But Kabir had one. Every single evening, right after school, he'd find a quiet spot by the water's edge. With careful folds and creases, he would create a tiny fleet of paper boats. He'd place each one on the water, watching as the gentle current carried them downstream. As they floated away, he'd whisper his deepest wish to them. One day he'd say, his voice full of hope, "I'll build a real boat, a real one, and I'll sail all the way to the city." The other villagers would often see him there and chuckle. They'd shake their heads, calling his dream childish, a silly game for a little boy. "Paper boats won't get you to the city, Kabir," they'd say with a smile. But their words never reached his heart. Kabir never stopped. He kept folding, kept whispering, kept dreaming. Even when the heavy monsoon rains came and washed his fragile fleet away in a rush of muddy water, he returned the next day. Even when the paper grew soggy and tore before his boats could even reach the bend in the river, he didn't give up. Deep down, in that quiet place inside him, he just knew. He believed that the river was listening, that it was remembering his promise, his unwavering dedication. The years flowed by, just like the river. The small boy grew into a young man. Life had pulled him away from his village school and onto the bustling docks of a nearby port. His days were filled with hard labor, his hands growing rough and calloused from lifting heavy crates. His clothes were perpetually soaked in a mixture of sweat and salty sea spray. It was a tough life, far from the grand adventures he had imagined. But if you looked closely, you'd see it the same light, the same fire still burning in his eyes. The dream was still there, tucked away but never extinguished. And so every night, long after the other dock workers had gone home, after the clamor of the day had faded into a gentle hum, Kabir would find his way back to the river. He'd sit by the moonlit water, just as he did as a boy. And with those same calloused hands, he would carefully fold a single paper boat. He'd place it on the shimmering surface and watch it drift into the darkness, a silent testament to the dream he refused to let go of. It was his quiet ritual, a conversation between him, the river, and the boy he used to be. One night, the sky turned black and a furious storm rolled in. The wind howled, and the river, usually so calm, became a churning, angry beast. The waves rose high and crashed against the docks with tremendous force. Suddenly, cries for help cut through the roar of the storm. A small fishing boat, caught in the tempest, had overturned, tossing its crew into the treacherous water. People on the shore panicked, shouting, unsure of what to do against such a powerful current. But Kabir didn't hesitate for a second. Without a thought for his own safety, he jumped into the raging river. He fought against the fierce, pulling current with every ounce of his strength. The waves tried to drag him under, but he pushed forward, his years of working on the docks giving him a power he didn't know he had. He reached a struggling fisherman one by one and managed to pull all three of them back to the safety of the shore. He collapsed, exhausted but triumphant. In that moment of chaos and courage, someone was watching. A ship engineer, stranded at the port by the storm, had witnessed the entire rescue. He was stunned by Kabir's bravery and his incredible strength in the water. He saw something more than just a worker. He saw a man who understood the river, who respected its power but wasn't afraid of it. Soon after that fateful night, everything changed for Kabir. The engineer sought him out. Impressed and inspired, he offered Kabir a job at a major shipbuilding company. It was a chance, a real one. This was it. Kabir's childhood fascination, his quiet obsession with boats, was about to become his lifelong calling. He poured his heart and soul into the work. He learned everything he could about design, about engineering, about the intricate art of building vessels that could conquer the sea. His hands, once rough from lifting crates, now learned to sketch blueprints and shape steel. Years flew by again, and Kabir's dedication paid off. He rose through the ranks, his passion and innate understanding of the water setting him apart. And then the day came. He was no longer a dock worker, no longer just a dreamer. He was a naval architect, standing proudly at the port beside the very first vessel he had designed from scratch. It was a magnificent ship, its hull shimmering under the afternoon sun, a testament to years of hard work and an unbreakable dream. As he stood there, taking in the momentous occasion, he noticed a small child playing by the water's edge. The child was folding a tiny paper boat. A smile spread across Kabir's face as he watched. It was like looking at a reflection of his own past. In that instant, he realized his journey had come full circle. The dream hadn't just been fulfilled, it had been honored. What began as a fragile, whisper-thin paper dream had grown into something strong. Something real, something powerful enough to conquer the vast ocean. He walked over to the water and whispered softly to himself and to the wind, "Dreams don't need strength. They need faith." That day, as his great ship set sail for the very first time, its horn blasting a triumphant note across the harbor, Kabir did one last thing. He took out a small piece of paper, folded it into a familiar shape, and placed his own paper boat on the water right beside the massive vessel. He watched it float away, a silent tribute to the little boy who never, ever gave up. That moment, that story, became a legend in his village and beyond. It inspired generations of children to believe that no dream is too small and no dreamer is too weak. Because, as Kabir proved, even a fragile paper boat can eventually reach the sea, as long as you have the faith to keep sailing, even through the fiercest of storms. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiration. See you next time.